parenting teenagers. It's like funding their rebellion and hoping for the best.
I gave him his inheritance early. Worst financial decision ever made.
But sometimes love means letting them learn the hard way.
But this father's greatest test came when his son demanded everything. Maybe you felt that pull too. Freedom calling louder than family. Choosing independence over love. Adventure over the safety of home. This is the story of love that runs toward the returning heart. You've heard about the son who left, but never about the brother who stayed. Perhaps you've wondered which son's heart mirrors your own. Keep watching and discover why grace still runs toward the lost. In the rolling hills of Judea lived a wealthy landowner named Amos. His estate flourished with vineyards heavy with purple fruit ripening slowly. Fields of golden grain swayed like ocean waves in gentle breezes. Shepherds guided their flocks across green pastures dotted with bright wildflowers. Ancient olive trees provided shade where workers rested during midday heat. Stone walls marked boundaries, built by generations of faithful hands. 2 sons had grown to manhood in this place of abundance. Samuel worked faithfully beside his father from dawn until evening stars appeared. His hands bore the calluses of honest labor and faithful service. His heart found deep satisfaction in continuing his father's blessed legacy. Every sunrise brought him purpose, and every sunset brought him peace. But Eli had grown increasingly restless with predictable village life. Each morning brought the same routines, faces, and familiar boundaries. His restless heart yearned for adventure beyond these peaceful rolling hills. Dreams of distant cities and exotic marketplaces filled his restless mind. The estate's wealth and security felt like a beautiful golden cage. Freedom and independence called to him from beyond familiar boundaries. He longed to discover who he truly was beyond his father's shadow. One fateful morning, as dew clung to grass, Eli approached his father. The words he carried in his heart would shatter their peaceful world. His decision had been made during long, sleepless nights of dreaming.
Father, give me my share of the inheritance now.
The request struck Amos like lightning splitting an ancient oak tree. In their ancient culture, such words meant wishing your father dead. Yet Amos saw not hatred, but desperate hunger in his son's eyes.
My beloved son, are you certain this is your heart's desire?
Amos asked gently. Love wrestled with wisdom in the father's breaking, generous heart.
I must find my own way in this wide world.
The morning air grew heavy with unspoken sorrow and impending change.
If this is what you truly want,
Amos whispered with breaking voice. The father's generous heart shattered like pottery against cold stone. Love demanded he release what he longed desperately to protect forever. Every fiber of his being wanted to refuse this heartbreaking request. But true love sometimes means letting go when holding on hurts more. He walked slowly through familiar stone corridors to his treasure room. Each step felt like walking toward his own heart's funeral. Years of careful savings lay stored in wooden chests and clay jars. This wealth represented decades of sunrise labor and sunset prayers. There, with trembling hands, he divided his life's work and legacy. Each coin represented seasons of honest labor, sacrifice, and faithful stewardship. His hands shook as he separated what belonged to each son. He gave Eli his portion in heavy silver coins and precious stones.
Finally, I can see the world beyond these familiar hills.
Eli declared excitedly. The weight of silver felt light compared to his dreams of freedom. Samuel watched from the distant fields, his jaw tightening with bitter anger.
He gets rewarded while I work faithfully every single day.
Samuel muttered bitterly. Each silver coin felt like a betrayal of his faithful, loyal service. Why should rebellion receive what faithfulness had earned through years of sacrifice? Years of sunrise labor seemed suddenly worthless and completely unappreciated. Within days, Eli packed his belongings with excited, almost frantic haste.
Adventure waits for no one in this wide world.
Eli laughed joyfully. He purchased fine traveling clothes, sturdy leather sandals, and provisions for the journey. Every purchase felt like another step toward the freedom he craved. Freedom beckoned from beyond the familiar hills, valleys, and ancient boundaries. The unknown world promised everything his heart had ever desired. The morning of departure arrived like a solemn funeral procession. Amos stood by the wooden gate, his face aged overnight with sorrow. Love and loss wrestled in his heart like opposing armies.
May God protect you where my love cannot reach.
Amos whispered softly. Eli embraced his father briefly, then turned eagerly toward distant adventure. The embrace lasted only moments, but would echo in memory forever. He walked toward the horizon without looking back, even once. His steps were light with freedom, heavy with unspoken consequences. Each step took him further from love and closer to lessons. Amos remained at the gate long after his son vanished completely. Love would wait as long as hope remained alive in his heart. Every sunrise would find him watching. Every sunset would find him hoping. In a distant city, Eli discovered pleasures beyond his wildest dreams. The city pulsed with music, laughter, and endless temptation calling his name. Exotic spices filled the air with scents he had never imagined.
This is the life I was meant to live.
Wine flowed freely, and companions gathered eagerly around his heavy silver.
Your silver buys the finest wine in all the city.
Night after night, he spent his father's hard-earned inheritance with reckless abandon. Each coin carried the weight of his father's sacrifice and love. But Eli's heart had grown deaf to wisdom's gentle warning voice. The thrill of freedom intoxicated him more than any wine could. Months passed like water flowing through eager, grasping fingers. His fine clothes became stained with wine, regret, and broken promises. The laughter that once surrounded him began to fade into silence. But silver runs out faster than wisdom grows in foolish hearts.
Surely I have enough for just one more night.
Eli whispered desperately. His fair-weather friends vanished like morning mist before the rising sun. The laughter that once surrounded him turned to cruel, mocking whispers. Hunger became his constant, gnawing companion as famine struck the land. Even the dogs in the street seemed better fed than he. Pride warred with desperation in his empty, aching stomach.
Please, I'll work for just a piece of bread.
The pig farmer looked down with disgust, pity, and reluctant compassion.
You can feed my pigs, but expect nothing more.
He grunted harshly. The son who demanded his inheritance now begged for animal scraps. He watched the pigs eat while his stomach ached with emptiness. The pods the pigs ate looked better than anything he could afford.
How did I fall so far from my father's house?
Eli wept bitterly. Pride had led him to the lowest place imaginable on earth. The freedom he had craved had become the cruelest prison of all. In the mud and filth, something stirred within Eli's broken heart. The stench of his choices finally overwhelmed his stubborn pride.
Even my father's servants eat better than this.
Eli realized with sudden clarity. Memory flooded back like water breaking through a mighty dam. He remembered the warmth and safety of his father's generous house. He remembered fresh bread on every table and kindness in abundance. Even the lowest servant lived better than he did now. They had beds while he slept with swine in the mud.
They had dignity, while he had only shame and regret.
I will go back to my father.
Eli declared with trembling voice. The decision felt like awakening from a terrible, endless nightmare. He practiced the words he would say over and over again.
Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you.
He whispered repeatedly. The words tasted bitter, but necessary on his parched lips.
I am no longer worthy to be called your son.
He continued practicing. Each step toward home felt heavier than the last one. Fear and hope wrestled within his weary, broken heart. What if his father refused to see him at all? What if his shameful choices had destroyed love forever?
Maybe he will let me work as his servant.
Eli hoped quietly. Even servanthood would be better than this pig pen existence. Days of walking brought him closer to familiar, beloved hills. Each familiar landmark stirred memories of childhood joy and innocence. Then, in the distance, he saw his father's blessed estate. But even from far away, someone had been faithfully watching. Amos had waited at that gate every single day since departure. Rain or shine, morning or evening, love kept its vigil.
My son!
Amos cried out, recognizing the distant, beloved figure. Love had been watching and waiting patiently all along. Then Amos did something that shocked the watching, judgmental world. He ran like a young man toward his broken, returning son. Amos reached his son and threw his arms around him completely. The father kissed his son's dirty face without hesitation or disgust.
Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you.
Eli began trembling. But Amos interrupted before his son could finish the painful speech.
Bring the best robe and put it on my son.
Amos commanded joyfully. Servants wrapped the finest robe around Eli's trembling, skeletal shoulders.
Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet.
Amos continued. The family ring slipped onto Eli's finger like a crown of grace. The father commanded his servants to bring the fattened calf and prepare a great feast.
This son of mine was dead and is alive.
Maybe you've built your own pig pen through choices you regret. Perhaps you've tried earning your way back through good works. But our self-built walls of righteousness crumble under God's perfect standard. The truth is, we're all prodigals who desperately need grace. Jesus became the perfect son we could never be completely. He lived the obedient life we couldn't live perfectly. He died the death our rebellion deserved on the cross. Now God runs toward you with the robe of righteousness. Will you turn from your pig pen and trust him today? Repent and believe. The Father is already running toward you. Grace transforms rebels into beloved children through Christ's finished work. Like dawn breaking through the longest night, mercy finds us. And love writes our names in the book of life.
I ran far, but mercy still found me on the road home.
The Father's mercy still runs faster than every failure you carry. Each story will help you trust His love in your own journey home.
Walk home with grace. Subscribe for more Red Lamb stories.
The Prodigal Son revealed more than rebellion. It uncovered grace's shocking response. Love ran toward what justice should have rejected completely. Grace gave robes where shame expected only rejection and punishment. But the older brother's anger revealed something deeper about human hearts. Maybe you felt the weight of faithful service going unnoticed. Perhaps you've wondered why grace seems unfair to those who stayed. What if the hardest person to forgive is yourself? In ancient Israel, One woman understood the power of stories to heal. When King David's heart grew hard toward his own devastating sin, she would tell a parable that shattered his stubborn, defensive heart. You've heard about the king's fall, but never about the woman's wisdom. Click right here and discover what the wise woman of Tekoa reveals when parables pierce hearts.